Welcome. We're here to remember Lois Guehring. We're here to commemorate, to grieve, to celebrate Lois's life. You've known Lois as your wife and your mother, as your grandmother and your mother-in-law, as your sister and your aunt, as your friend. Maybe you sang with Lois in the choir. Maybe you were in book club together. Maybe she was your teacher, formally or in the thousands of ways she shared her knowledge with all of us. In this memorial service and in the days and weeks and years to come, as memories of Lois come to you, welcome them, cherish them, give them a place of honor next to your grief. After our service, everyone is invited to the Huff Fellowship Hall, which is just across the courtyard, for a reception. In the reception time together, share your memories of Lois. Tell the person next to you something about Lois that makes you smile. Let's remember her. Will you pray with me? Spirit of love, hold us this day in your peace as we remember Lois and celebrate her life. Gather us in stories, in words, in ritual, in the comfort we provide to each other. We are grateful for the experiences we shared with Lois. We are grateful for her life. Help us this day, Holy One, to find ways to incorporate our experiences of Lois into our living. As we remember her, she will go with us. She is with us. Her love lives on in us. Embrace us each in your care, we pray. Amen.
When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe briefly. Our eyes briefly see with a hurtful clarity. Our memory suddenly sharpened examines, gnaws on kind words unsaid, promised walks never taken. And when great souls die, after a period of peace blooms slowly and always irregularly. Spaces fill with a kind of soothing electric vibration, our senses restored, never to be the same, whisper to us. They existed. We can be, and be better, but they existed.
We're reading from Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, through the mountains tremble with its tumult. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of the city, it shall not be moved. God will help it when the morning dawns. The God of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob and Rachel and Leah is our refuge.
The psalm we just heard begins with the notation, "To the leader of Kathahites, according to Alamoth, a song." I don't blame you for not reading that part. I'm bringing it up because not every psalm notes that it is a song. The psalms represent the hymnal of the Hebrew people, their songs and litanies of faith. How fitting that we hear a psalm that is a song on this day that we remember and celebrate the life of Lois Guehring. Lois loved music. She sang in our choir. She loved the opera. She loved listening to classical music. In fact, I think the only argument I ever had with Lois was over the transition of 88.7 from music in the afternoons to all talk all the time. I was for the all talk all the time, and she was very sad about the change. I know in recent months, Lois's dear friend has been sending music for her to listen to, and that Lois has joined Brian in singing. I've even known Jim to give singing a try to bring more music into Lois's life. In addition to music, Lois loved learning. She was always reading, always discovering, always leaning into new ways to consider something. We are remembering Lois in this service, and in our remembering, we're doing something for Lois that she has been struggling to do these last years. While she has forgotten many things, even some of us, she kept her beautiful smile and at least some of her curiosity. There were many breakfasts in recent years that I shared with Jim and Lois, wherein Lois would ask questions. Often her only words during our breakfasts were words of wonder, curiosity about what was on her plate, or to inquire after her favorite blueberry pancakes. Lois held on to some of her love of mystery, even while so many things were lost to her. I've been thinking about her love of learning and curiosity, her love of discovery. These loves were displayed so many Christmas Eves here at Covenant. Lois, with others, would wrap the figurines gathered from various manger scenes such that there would be a wrapped figure for every child present on Christmas Eve. While the team made sure there was only one Mary and one Joseph and one baby Jesus, the math was much more exponential when it came to shepherds and wise ones and camels and sheep. Lois would gather the children, and with so few words, she would conduct the children in unwrapping their figurines and placing them in a manger. It was always a delightful scene, with Lois in the midst of the children and wrapping paper and donkeys and sheep of various sizes everywhere. I particularly remember one year when the camel population was rather substantial. Lois said something like, "Look at all these camels. I wonder where they'll go." She was interested in life and learning and discovery, and she shared her interests with us. Our psalmist sings, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in times of trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though the waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with the tumult. God, the psalmist asserts, is not only present in the good times, when nature is kind and the sea is calm, and the crops are plentiful, and the children are healthy, and our personal well-being is secure, and our enemies are subdued and quiet. God, the psalmist sings to us, is present and may be relied upon when nature is unkind, when mountains shake and the seas roar, when radical change happens and nothing feels safe and secure. God is in the midst of all of that too. God, who we sometimes name love. God, love, has been with Lois and Jim, with Keith and Monica and Landon, with Brian and Michael, with each one of us, Lois's friends and family, in these years of transition for Lois. Love has remained, even while Lois's memories have not. And so today we will remember for her. We will remember. We will hold together once again the complete and whole woman, the woman who read so many books and loved book club, the woman who unwrapped dinner parties like those Christmas Eve figurines, finding a place for the too many wine glasses. We will remember, put back in place the woman who loved to travel and who always seemed to know something about any place anyone was going. We will do for Lois what she could not do for herself in recent years. We will remember. Love never dies. We are not alone. In these days of remembering, of grieving, of sharing stories, loving and laughing and weeping, we each experience grief in our own ways. Just as you shared a unique relationship with Lois, so too you will have a unique experience in grief for her. So welcome your grief. Make room for it and embrace it. Walk with your feelings of loss. Taste them and touch them. Give them their place in your life right now. And as you do your welcoming, remind yourself of times of joy and wonder with Lois. Remember, please remember, you are not alone. Each person gathered today loved Lois, and we all share a bond in our love and in our loss. During the reception and in the days to come, let's remember Lois. Let's unwrap our stories of her as she helped all those children unwrap shepherds and wise ones. Let's hold each other. Let's know that love never, ever dies. Let's remember. Amen.
remembrances, art. I remember that my mom, Lois, was a parent volunteer in the local elementary school to teach art. I remember my mom taking me to art classes at the local Glassell School of Art. My mom encouraged me to take art in middle school and in high school. When it was time to choose a college, Mom told me that Southwestern would be a good fit for me. I was in between a couple of colleges, and I chose Southwestern University. At the university, my first A that I earned was in a drawing class, and that convinced me to become an art major. I later taught high school art, and I remember that Mom encouraged me in my art all along the way. Ski beautiful. Another one of my memories of Mom is when our family was fortunate to have the opportunity to go snow skiing in Colorado. My brother and I went to ski school for a few days, and then after those few days of ski school, we would all ski together as a family. And I remember my mother would say, "Ski beautiful." Now, on the surface, that might have been a subtle message to her sons that perhaps they were skiing just a little too fast down the mountain for their own safety. But as I think more about that simple short phrase, I think about slowing down and doing a good job on something. And that by doing so, you may enjoy it just a little bit better. So whether it is time with your family or doing something creative like a drawing, a painting, writing a play, singing some music, crafting a piece of wood furniture, decorating fresh baked cookies, or creating an original construction from leftover Legos, take time and make something beautiful. So I think about my mom, and I think about that beautiful approach to things. Approach your life within the metaphor of the phrase, ski beautiful.
Well, one thing that makes me think of my grandma is every holidays she would have the dough already made and we would bake cookies. Of course, my favorite kitchen utensil was a rolling pin to roll out the dough. And she would tell me never keep the dough too thick or too thin, otherwise the cookies won't come out well. And afterwards, after they cooled, me and my grandpa would eat them, and we would be the official taste testers. And so that's something that always kind of makes me think when I see cookies in a bakery. I always think of making them with my grandmother.
My mom was an amazingly supportive, patient, and loving mother. She was also an incredibly dedicated teacher, and I learned so much from her over my life. So, I want to share with you 15 of the top lessons I've learned from my mom. Number 1, read. Read for fun, read to learn, read on vacations, read to your sons, your nieces, your grandson. Read and discuss in a book club with your friends for decades, and work the library system to get your books for free. Number 2, if you're feeling down, take a mid-afternoon ice cream break. If you're feeling good, still take a mid-afternoon ice cream break. Number 3, dancing to energetic musical theater songs makes exercise much more fun. Number 4, when you find the love of your life, get married, create a supportive partnership, and go on many adventures. Number 5, share your love of the arts. Join a choir, be a season ticket holder for the opera, encourage/require your sons to attend art events. Number 6, if your sons take you on an all-day tour of the Baseball Hall of Fame, don't complain. Even if they complained loudly about all the historic home tours that she took us to. Number 7, find creative ways to connect to your students, even if they seem too cool to appreciate all of your creativity. Number 8, baking is a love language. And when rolling out cookie dough, make sure it's really even so the edges don't burn. Number 9, be loyal to your friends. Number 10, if you want the baseball game to go to extra innings, always take my mom. Number 11, peanut donuts, those long cake donuts that are rolled in peanuts from DiCamillo Bakery up in Niagara Falls. Those are amazing. Number 12, if mom says dinner is ready, she means now. She valued hot dinner and worked hard to time everything to come out right at the same time. So don't just finish up your game or the chapter you're reading or watching till the commercial. Come to dinner now. Number 13, take time to enjoy beautiful flowers. My mom loved azaleas and roses and orchids. Number 14, watching Murder, She Wrote or PBS Mystery or Agatha Christie movies or reading the Newbery Award-winning novel Westingame is so much more fun with a fellow mystery fanatic pausing for analysis and guesses on who done it. And number 15, always be kind, be thoughtful and supportive, and listen with an open heart. Thanks, Mom, for all these lessons and so much more.
Mom's dementia demanded attention. She was acutely aware of increasingly loss of her intellectual capability. She regularly would ask us to take her home. We go, Mom, but you are home. Here, this is your house, your home on Maple Street. No, she'd explain, I mean my former home, back when I had my whole mind. Well, she's home now. Believe. This love still lives. The love that crossed an impossible distance to reach you, to find you, to take your face in its hands and bless you. Believe. This does not end, that the gesture, once enacted, endures. Believe. This love goes on, that it still takes your face in its hands, that it presses its forehead to yours, as it speaks to you in undying words, that has never ceased to gather your heart into its heart. Believe. This blessing abides. Believe. It goes with you always. Believe. It knows you still.